morning, good afternoon, and if coming home from working a long 9 to 5, I hope you're having a great one as we bring to another BodySlam post show, this time for Survivor Series War Games 2026 held at Petco Park in San Diego, California. The last time that the Padres had seen a win inside of that park was against the losing to the Dodgers, and since then it's just been great times in California, especially for Los Angeles. It's nice to see, Joe Musgrove. It's nice to see all the Padre players trying to come out and everything, but it's very funny to see Padre fans wearing the jersey during a wrestling event of all things. But of course, my name is Rami Afif. I am your host here. It was a very, very long 4 matches for a Survivor Series event. I was watching Survivor Series 98 earlier, and just so many matches. You're like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And nowadays we don't even get that same feel. But yes, it's me, your boy. Joining me is Max Denenberg, the absolute GOAT, workhorse that he is, constantly with the highs and lows, the post shows, anything he get his hands on, he's gonna go out there. Even the movie theaters, you'll probably see him in Philly at a movie theater stepping out, being like, "Now listen, with
Thanks.
you two, that's good, that's good." But of course, Max, my friend, how are you doing?
Doing good. Thanks, Rami, for an amazing intro. Yeah, it was. I'm just happy I was here. As I was telling Rami before, I was here close to 2 a.m. 2 weeks ago, or last weekend, talking on a post show. So, even though this was a significantly worse show, am very pleased to be with you at a reasonable time of the day. I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. I'm high energy because it's only 10 o'clock East Coast time. So I am pretty happy. But yeah, we do. I'll tell you this before we can get into the show. There are usually so many commercials during these shows. It felt like they were like 20 times more commercials during the show, because it would be like the match is over and then here's the video package for the match. And then they cut to ads. They came back from the ads, 4 more WWE ads, like Xavier Woods commercial or Xfinity commercial. I was like, holy crap. Like, it is only 4 matches. They are dragging it out all the way to be a 3-hour show for 4 matches.
Truly, because we of course we know that the women are going to go 40 minutes to an hour with their side of the action, and then of course the next match would be have to take some time with it, which of course was Dominic Mysterio and John Cena. John Cena's final matchup in his final rivalry matchup and final pay-per-view matchup against somebody who is quote unquote the future of the business. And when we get into that, I'm so happy to finally start talking that big praise about it. But of course, we got it kicked off with the women's War Games match. And like you mentioned before the show had begun, it was pitch black, of course. It was pitch black as soon as the match ended, but it was of course bright as the lights can be in Petco Park. I love the way that the setup was, but it was just so funny seeing a baseball park being used in that type of way.
Yep.
Um, and of course, the long ramp as well. What were your thoughts on the long ramp? Of course, making its return for what, a third or fourth, fifth consecutive SummerSlam year?
Yeah, I thought, again, Petco Park is my favorite ballpark I've been in watching baseball, so I love the ballpark. I'll tell you this, I have been to a show where I went to Hell in a Cell 2015, and I was sat, man, 4th row ringside, and you could barely see what was going on in the ring, and I was 4th row ringside at Hell in a Cell, so I really can't imagine that 90%, if that, of the audience even saw what was going on in the ring, because it's just tough when you're in person with the cage and everything, especially 2 cages. I just
I
don't know
know.
if there were many great seats in the house. So I don't know. I think from my perspective, it looked cool on TV, the fireworks and the light show, it looked cool. I just don't know if it was like the greatest in-person experience for fans who, like, if you're sitting in the rafters there, I mean, even like there's some spots like close to the ring, I was like, I don't know if they're seeing anything either. Like, even when like green shirt guy, he sat like right in between the 2 rings. I was like, is that even like a good view of what was going on? So I was like thinking more of the in-person experience, because I experienced that being so close to Hell in a Cell and I could barely see what was going on. So yeah, it's a confounding in-person experience. I probably assume.
Surely, and especially with the nosebleeds that I was looking at, like it's funny as hell because you look at the nosebleeds and like you can barely even see like the war game setup and whatnot. Like it looks like everybody's ants down there. I feel like the only thing those nosebleed seats saw was Io Sky jumping off the
Yeah,
cage, and then that person who we saw at the end of the event climb over. Well, like it's such a weird like setup that they did, and to the way that they wanted to fit the park, fit the ballpark, of course. But come on, those seats are already high enough when we watch baseball, but we can see the full setup. We could see, batter, pitcher, third
yeah,
base, second base, first base, all of that stuff. When you have a wrestling ring there and a cage, that's not really helpful for a lot of people in those nosebleeds, of course.
yep,
I just want to say, give a big shout out to the 500 plus people that are watching right now.
yeah.
There's, of course, it's building up more and more and more. I'm very, very excited about this.
Let's go.
But heading into this, War Games match, the first two to kick it off was Charlotte Flair, who was very hesitant for the past couple of weeks, not wanting to team up with Rhea Ripley whatsoever because of their rivalry, stemming from, of course, WrestleMania 39 when Rhea Ripley did dethrone Charlotte Flair as champion after what do you call it? After WrestleMania 39, dethroned the Queen and it went on a whole run.
Yep,
Hold on a minute.
the
But
NXT Championship.
of course, against Asuka, of course, having this big heated rivalry with Io Sky, with Rhea Ripley, with the rest of the women, dethroning the women's tag team champions, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Like there was just so much that had been going on that Asuka had done, including as well Becky Lynch. I really enjoyed the pace that this match took. And usually, how last year we see the result being a couple of slip ups here and there and whatnot, the anxiety, the emotions driven and whatnot, things tend to happen. But this time around, it was just, very, very good, very perfect. I initially enjoyed the back and forth that we got from all the women and being able to show off their, incredible skills and whatnot. Um, One person I believe that really stood out the most was the final participant in all of this, Lash Legend. She has been somebody that, of course, came through NXT, her and Jakara Jackson now, Morrissey, trying to, work her way around. She feuded with Nia Jax in
Yeah,
NXT, and then now they're tag team partners. It's like, if you can't beat them, join them. And if you can join them, this is like the Twin Towers right here. These two women
yeah,
are just so strong and so scary, but you see the incredibleness of Lash Legend, the pop-up power bomb, folded right into like that big boot that she does, the forearm, which that exploding forearm she does, like just everything that she has is incredible. One person that I want to tout out, that wasn't in the match, but another woman that has the exact same skills of her is Izzy Dame. Just recently betrayed Tatum Paxley. Izzy Dame and Lash Legend, those two are women that can tilt a world backbreaker you and forearm you so hard that it'll leave a welt in your chest. So when we see these women come up to the main roster and be able to show themselves off, whether you're someone like Julia or Stephanie Vaquer, Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, it doesn't matter what background you came from. These women are here to show out and show just how great that they are. Um, but one thing that, of course, I enjoyed the most was the callbacks that we got. Becky and Charlotte, two that we have not seen in the ring together a lot of the times in the past
mhm.
year, and of course, just the way that everything unfolded. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
I thought it was fine. I would say it got good once Lash got into the match. I thought that's when the match just really now. Yeah, that's when all 10 women were in the ring together. I thought Lash was the standout, easy standout of the match, especially her moves where she did the punch, the power bomb, and the big kick to Rhea was easily the most impressive part of the match. Obviously, Io always does the top of the cage. She did a swanton though. It was
Swanton
freshman.
bomb. That
I
was
was like so
beautiful.
afraid. And then Becky
That was
Lynch had like
scary but beautiful.
and then Becky Lynch was like me reacting to that when she like stood there. I was like, really? That just happened right in front of me. Um, I thought they could have done a better both in the build and in the match, doing more with like Rhea and Charlotte tension. It was kind of just like they both were just kind of already they had one conversation and then they were just cool during this match. I wish some of the intrigue could have been, are they still, rivals or anything like that. But yeah, they did like the miss spot with Asuka where she does it on Lash by accident.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
was
I mean,
it was nice because of course you bring in the Lash Legend and Nia Jax at the final two. These women are tanks. They are here to break down walls, go through them, the
yeah,
thing, and Rhino just killing anyone in their path. So when Asuka got her with the mist, I was like, oh shit, changes everything. And the fact that Becky was just finally by herself, like the one person that talked all the shit in the world finally getting what's coming to her, and it was just very beautiful to finally see that.
I oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I saw that comment just made right now and whatnot, but I don't know if I want to bring it up just yet until
Yeah,
maybe the
say
main
it.
event.
Yeah, say it for the
Yeah,
main event.
exactly, exactly.
I
So, um,
just want to add on. I
well,
like all the women involved in the match. I just thought until we got all 10 women in the ring, I thought it was just kind of there. It just felt like a very there wasn't any like big spots or before Lash got into the match. I just thought it was kind of just there. And AJ Lee had some fun moments. Obviously there's all
her selling was incredible that she
yeah.
did definitely. Like the fact that she was putting over Lash, putting over Asuka,
Oh yeah.
Nia, and everything. Of course, making them all look like how they are, behemoths and just the strongest warriors. But one thing I also wanted to point out was, it's weird that we didn't get a lot of weapons from the women. This is
No. Yeah.
war games, and we got more weapons from the men's side, but the women's side it was like, Becky came out with a kendo stick. Io came out with a trash can lid, and Rhea came out with like the like backpack of like kendo sticks and something else like the trash can for Io. I was like, I expected some chairs, I expected some tables, I
Yeah.
expected like some because we always see a riptide through a table, so I was always expecting that, but
Yeah.
we did not get that at all. But in the end, um, the women got Becky Lynch surrounded. The man was beaten by the gals and put in the Black Widow, submitted in the center of the ring. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, is this the end of the rivalry?" We got Saturday Night Main Event to worry about. It's
Yeah.
December 13th is just 2 weeks away. Come on now, like anyone who thinks, "Oh, that's it, it's over," Becky's just gonna walk away. Becky is pissed. I cannot wait for the tweet that she comes out with. Like this
She already
is,
did. She said she didn't tap
this,
out. She said she didn't tap
this
out.
this is it. I saw a fly. I love when people say that all the time. Like, I
She
saw a
did say
fly.
that.
Oh, a bug was in my eyes or something like that. Wait, did she say there was a
Yeah, she
fly?
said she didn't tap out. She said she literally everyone's a liar. She did not. I'm going to pull up the specific tweet. Let me do that really quick.
Yes, please do that. But
But I
of
saw
course,
that. Here we
AJ
go.
Lee
So
gets
she
the win with
said,
the Black Widow.
she said
Go
she did four tweets. She said rigged first. I did not tap rigged. Then she said, I did not lose. Jessica Carr can't keep getting away with this. That was a loaded trash can. I can have proof. So there you go. So
A
she's
loaded trash can.
no, she didn't
I
get
love
hit with
that.
it. She just watched people get hit with it.
Le-
Um,
legit,
he's
dude.
done a lot for since she won the Intercontinental Championship, and but yeah, I think Becky and AJ is not. I mean, to be fair to Becky, she got hit with everyone's finisher, then tapped out. So it's not like, oh my god, AJ just doing that makes this
Yeah.
over. I think they're not done with this feud.
Another thing I wanted to point out was that you are my witness. I was pushing so freaking hard for Maxine Dupree to win that Women's
Yeah,
Intercontinental Championship, and when she did, my God, I felt like I was raised to the clouds. I was levitated by God, and God told me, "Motherfucker, you are Mystic Rami." And I'm like, I know, I am. Like that was the perfect moment to get, and this was another perfect moment to capture because you don't need a championship on the line between these two. They're both legends in their own. Like
yeah.
you see Becky Lynch main evented WrestleMania. You see AJ Lee transcended the women for at that time because without her we wouldn't have been able to get that boost of NXT's women like Emma and Paige and
Yep.
Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks, all those women getting more of a bigger push because of AJ going down there and
Oh
then
yeah.
going up to the main roster when she did retire. And then we got the longest title reign at that time, Divas Champion of Nikki Bella. And then that's when it built to the Women's Evolution.
Yeah.
And just it's amazing that we're able to finally see AJ Lee back in the ring and she's able to put on these like amazing moments to where she's putting over her opponents and still able to shine very big because we all want her to win. like 99.9% of her matches, she should definitely always win, even if it's like against like the only two people, three people I would say that I'd be like, I don't think that she should beat them. Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea Ripley, and maybe I'd say at most like Bianca Belair. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
Bianca, those three women are just, phenomenal. But I think AJ has a shot against all the other women. Maybe Io Sky, could definitely, pick up a big win over her as well, because of course that would be a phenomenal match to have. Of course, shout out to almost the 800 people watching us.
Yeah,
Of
crazy.
I'm very,
Thanks, everyone.
very, very happy about it. We all tuned in to capture these big, big moments, and that's what we got out of it. I think that, of course, Rhea tries her best to go after that Women's World Championship. Same thing with EO, you know what I mean? The women are all gonna be pushing back for gold. I don't know what happens with Charlotte and Alexa, because they were happy about the run, they were happy about the reign. We don't know if they're gonna get a continuation for those two.
I
If
was
anything,
thinking the same
go on.
thing. Like, sorry, I was thinking the same thing as you. I was like, we need tag teams. They just don't book tag teams. I was like, it's whenever they put these teams together and then they lose the title, it's always a breakup feud. I think they should stay together. I don't think there's any need for
I
Charlotte
think so too.
and Alexa to go solo at this point.
And I don't want them to set up some freaking stupid tournament to be like, oh, we need to book the next contender
Oh
for Oscar and Kyrie. Don't
God.
do that, because I already know the finals would be Lyra and Bailey against Charlotte and Alexa, and it'll be like, please God, don't do this. Like the next match we're gonna bring up something that's happening afterwards that's not helping anybody's case, and
Sure.
that's how we fill it in. They go to commercial break, giving the promotion for WrestleMania, Royal Rumble,
Oh my.
Sizzlers, Hooters, whatever you got to give it to.
Yeah.
But then we get into the next matchup, the men's Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. I used to always love when Gunther said that, or all the old
Yeah.
time legends. Like it was always good because it says Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Like
That's
I
it.
had that title growing. I had the '07 version, like the black strap and whatnot. I had that as a kid. I defended it and lost every time. So like that's becoming a 5, 6 time champion. Does that? You know what I mean? Like nobody can
No.
stop me. But so we get Dominic Mysterio, the former Intercontinental Champion, the current AAA Mega Champion, stepping into this one, the final rivalry and the final pay-per-view matchup of John Cena's illustrious career. I
Yeah.
wanted to sob because I'm just like I've watched Cena, like I've told you. I My first ever John Cena match was over a burned VHS tape. Like, when you film something over and whatnot. My dad had a VHS tape of South Park Bigger, Louder, and Uncut the movie. And he got that same tape and taped over WrestleMania 20, where John Cena fought The Big Show. And I thought, holy crap, The Big Show. That's such a wild, unique name. 7 foot
Yeah.
giant. But what else could be unique besides John Cena lifting him up in Madison Square Garden, dropping him after the fight, after the brass knuckles, and getting that big win? That was the first moment I ever had with wrestling,
Crazy.
and that was like the best moment ever. Like, I think I was 5 or 6 years old, and my dad put that VHS tape on, and I was like, I'm enthralled. That was the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah.
And so being able to see John Cena make that entrance, almost trip over everybody, get down to the ring, I was just like, my God, like I'm so glad that I was able to watch his whole career the
Yeah.
way that I have. Even in the bad years, even in some of the years where I was like, God damn, I'm tired of this guy. Even though my first ever email was teamcnation00 at redacted.com. I'm not gonna give it out because probably someone might find it and be like, I'm gonna find his Facebook info from like 20 years ago. Like it's not
Yeah.
my email anymore, but it was used to be back then. But we get John Cena in there, Dominic Mysterio. But Dominic Mysterio coming out with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. I was like, whoa, what the hell? Like, what's going on
That's
here?
when I knew Liv
Um,
was coming out. That's exactly what I knew. I was like, this is
yes,
weird. This is different.
like the early report that was sent into the BodySlamNet chat. We're not gonna, shout out the person who does it because they keep stealing news from us. But of course, we see that report and we're like, hmm, that might be very, very exciting. That might be something very big.
Yeah.
Raquel and Roxanne, they get involved after Dominic scared the hell out of us. After seeing what Penta went through on Monday with his, shoulder and neck, Dominic Mysterio basically mimics that, gets us all scared for our lives. Roxanne and Raquel hit their finishers. He hits the 619 frog splash, kick out. Referee gets booted out after the attitude adjustment and the bash into the referee. We get Finn Balor and JD McDonough with JD McFunko Pop in the ring and whatnot. And as they try to take out Cena, they can't. They get hit with the double attitude adjustment. I was like, beautiful, because I watched WrestleMania 25. I love, and not like two, like WrestleMania 24 is my first ever one, but 25 is my second ever one watching it live. And when I saw that double attitude adjustment from Edge and Big Show, I was like, holy crap, this guy's like cool. Seeing it one last time, because that's the only time we'll ever see it. Ludwig Kaiser is not in Gunther's corner, and we all know Gunther will be the final opponent in Cena's career.
Yeah.
But if there's no Ludwig Kaiser, you can't do the double attitude adjustment. That was the perfect spot to hold it at. And it was so perfect too. It was so good. I think the last time he did it just as good as that, which is J&J Security back in 2015. I'm like, it took 10 freaking years, like freaking crazy stuff here. But then referee gets booted out, STF, championship gets brought in. There's so much that was happening. And then we hear the music. Liv Morgan's music. She comes down there. I'm just like, oh my God. I think she was wearing like something Christina Aguilera related and whatnot, because I feel like the top was like very like like rocking that type of style, because she just came in with that almost that look similarly, but I could be wrong. I would have all the like the diva stance respectfully in my comments and everything saying, go fuck yourself, pal. You don't know shit.
No.
It gets that way. It gets that way. That's life. But then Liv Morgan smacks Dominic Mysterio. I'm just like, oh my God, like what's going on here? Please don't tell me the betrayal's happening. And then she jumps into John's arms like she's AJ Lee, and then does the same look that he did at Elimination Chamber this past year when he turned heel for the Dwayne. And I was like, oh my God, like this is. And when she hit that low blow, got her the 619, hit the championship 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Because I told you this about a month and a half ago, whenever we did our last post show together. John Cena needs to fight people that are building to the future. Carmelo Hayes, Dominic Mysterio, those two, Nathan Frazier, Javon Evans, those guys that are building to the future. Axiom, you know what I mean?
Yep, Oba.
Oba Femi, Braun Breaker, like you know what I mean? Those types of guys. They gave it to Logan Paul of all people, and then afterwards we're like, oh, well, this is an appetizer for Brock Lesnar, and we're like, we don't want that shit. No one wants that shit, dog. And they gave it to us on a fucking platter of shit, and then it was a 5, 6, 7 minute match barely, and just to build up. Oh, he has this Paul Heyman guy back, like motherfucker. 2002 was how many years ago? Come on, like get the.
That's when I was born in 2002. Let's not. I don't want to feel old here. Don't want to feel old.
I was born in no. Listen. I was born in 2000. I'm a little bit old. I'm a little bit older, Buster Rooney. But this still. My little brother was born in 2002. September 11, 2002. You know what I mean? September 11, 2002, he was born, and he and I have seen it so many years already. So then when we see it again, we're looking at each other saying, dog, please kill us. Like, we're tired of it. At this point, just run me over and just stop with this whole shenanigan of Brock and Paul, Brock and Roman, because it's just not too much. It's just too much already. But John then moves on, beats Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship when he says, I am invincible, which, oh my God, I was like, okay. I was a little bit salty in the moment because I was like, really? Dominic had to lose it? But to make Dominic lose the championship in Boston and elevate him to where he says, this is my home turf. I'm going to beat you for the championship. I'm going to reclaim what I never fucking lost. And then goes out there and does that. Cinema. Carmelo Hayes should have had a moment like that. You know what I mean? Braun Breaker should have had a moment like that. For the last couple of months, he should have had these big moments that we were like, my God, you're really building up the future. Because now that Dominic Mysterio is once again the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and he is once again the double champion, I ask myself this. Do we really need a finals in the last time is now tournament between Gunther and Jey Uso?
You know what's going to happen, Rami. You know it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. On Friday.
Fucking kill me. Like the fact that we got this at WrestleMania and we said, okay, they gave it to him. I guess good, you know what I mean? Like whatever. I mean, like at that point, I was like,
He
whatever.
tapped
You got
out.
your moment. You got your moment. Good for you, I guess. You know what I mean? Like Olivia Rodrigo would say. But like
Yeah,
after a couple of months, Gunther gets back the championship. We're like, okay, what's gonna build into it? Goldberg, Goldberg of all people. Then CM Punk beats him for the title because he has a nose injury. You take
yeah.
him out for a couple of months. You bring him back on TV. He destroys Javon Evans. He um he beat Carmelo Hayes,
Two
and
really good
then
matches. Two great matches. Great
two really
matches.
good matches for two guys that should have been in line to beat John Cena at some point this year, or even have a match. I don't. They didn't even have to beat John Cena. It's about getting that moment with a star like him, and then being able to bring it up in a promo later. I stepped toe to toe in his final year with John Cena, and I put him to the test. You didn't get to do that. To say that to Solo Sikoa, or to say that to any of the stars on SmackDown or Raw for either guy. Now that Dominic Mysterio has done this, Dominic Mysterio is a top freaking dog now. This has elevated him by so freaking much. Of you just reclaimed back the championship against John Cena in his final year, in his final pay-per-view appearance, in his final rivalry. So that right there should be a big push. I'm not saying win the Royal Rumble now. There's no freaking way, not whatsoever. But I guarantee you, heading into WrestleMania this year, Dominic Mysterio will finally break apart from the Judgment Day, and it will be him against Finn Balor, WrestleMania, and it should finally, be the match that ends it all because you can't have. Because look at Liv Morgan, she's back.
I
If Liv starts having these ticks where she hugs Finn and you see that look in her eyes, then you gotta think. You know what I mean?
I'll say this. I'll say that I'm still picking her. I think Liv's winning the Royal Rumble this year. I do. She's my pick for right now.
Yeah, Liv wins
But
it. Yeah.
I'm very nervous that they're gonna take the easy way out and have Bianca win the Rumble. She does not need to win the Rumble to fight Jade at WrestleMania. But
Yeah, that one bit.
they're gonna
Her in
have
a chamber match. Her in a chamber will be tough. But
but I think
didn't
they're
she
gonna
win
have
last year or this past year? Didn't she win the chamber this past year?
she did.
Yeah. Yeah, she pinned Liv. So I think that
Yeah,
Liv
sure.
win the Rumble
Bianca
would
win
be
the Rumble.
phenomenal.
I am nervous about that because I think I have been waiting for Liv to have a big WrestleMania match, just an important WrestleMania match. Now, I think this
For
match
sure.
is important, but it's not like a top of the card match. I feel like they're going to go with Dom and Liv versus Finn and Roxanne at WrestleMania because I think that is what they're going to do. Now, this feud is only going to end with a mixed tag match. It's not going to end with Liv versus Roxanne.
Which it would have happened at SummerSlam if there was no injury.
Yeah. And
Sadly,
again,
that had happened.
they're going to slow build this because it is the end of November. Yes, there's Saturday night's main event, but I don't think after Saturday night's main event, there's another big show until Rumble, which is the end of January. So I think they could start doing a thing where Roxanne eliminates Liv from the Rumble, and that starts something. Because if they told me like a month ago, I would say Liv would win the Rumble. But after the way it was handled tonight, where Roxanne's still helping out, but then Liv got involved, I was like, because Liv got rightfully so a very big pop, and Dom was definitely getting cheered.
Yeah.
I just think it's time to go full baby face with Dom and Liv at this point, and I don't, do the Judgment Day thing, but without Dom and Liv. I think Roxanne's really worked. I don't think Bianca needs to win the Rumble. I think Liv deserves a world title match at WrestleMania. But I just think they're going to do with the mixed tag at WrestleMania. And so that's what I think. But again, I think the return was good.
Yeah.
I thought the return was good. Liv looked like $1 million, sold everything like $1 million. I thought the in ring was what it was. It's a regular, it's the hit the moves and do the regular moves and do the kick out, the shocking kick out after 1 AA makes you laugh every time when everyone thinks that he's won the match with 1 AA. But
the pin count was pretty freaking fast. Like
it was so fast. I was like, wow! Like he's got to keep. I'll tell you what, I did buy a ticket on the botch because it looked completely botched. Like I was like,
yeah,
because
I was
It
scared.
looked worse than Penta's injury on Monday because
I
I was
know. And the way that he legit was talking to them and holding his arm, I
yeah.
was like, oh my
But
God,
the
like,
moment they brought over
fuck.
the two medics, I knew it was fake. That's when I was like, this is not because if it was real, they would do this, and
Exactly.
they
Immediately,
did
once you
not.
get to X, you know, brother. Like
And
let's
they
say
did not.
Penta, they do up the X
Oh
from and
yeah.
everything, so they threw off the match immediately. I watched the VPN, brother. You know what I mean?
But
Like, yeah,
and again, I'm not a John Cena person, but I give
yeah,
full respect for him taking the Raquel and Roxanne's finisher. I thought that must have been. I was
that
thinking
was
on this
amazing.
being Roxanne and Raquel, like, oh my god, I'm hitting my big move on John Cena in his last pay-per-view match. Like now everyone's gonna when everyone thinks of the last match, they're thinking of us hitting our finishing moves on Cena. I think that was a cool,
Exactly.
really cool moment
All
for sure.
every single one of them got that big shiny moment, and
Yeah,
I'm very happy about it. Finn got to be part of that. JD got to have
yeah,
his big head, slammed against.
that's right.
Raquel and Roxanne, got to shine bright, and Dominic Mysterio and Liv got to stand tall at the end of the night, especially in Dom's, hometown. Like that's all you really for Dominic Mysterio, of course, growing up.
Yeah,
That's all you want is to be able to win in your hometown, and especially winning at Petco Park a few months ago during baseball season. He had the Intercontinental Championship wrapped around his
yeah.
waist while he wore his jersey, and threw out that first pitch. A
I
couple months later, he's
yeah.
beaten an all-time legend. Like, come on, he did what the Padres couldn't do to Clayton Kershaw. He did what the Padres couldn't do to the Los Angeles Dodgers. He
I
did what? Come on, come
I knew
on,
you were gonna do this.
back-to-back
I
World
knew you were gonna
Series
do this,
champion.
Robbie. I knew it. And
I
guess
love
what? You
it.
can say
I
whatever
have to
say whatever you want. I'll add in here. I
hold
think
on.
Cena is gonna win his last match.
He has to.
I think
He has to.
the better story is Gunther retiring people, where this would be the second person he retires in the same year. I think that's an
Right?
interesting story. Like then he can be the one who retires Randy Orton, or he could be the one who retires AJ Styles. All these particular things. That's an interesting story. But
The new legend killer. You know what I
yes,
mean?
well, he's like could be the real. I mean, Orton wasn't retiring people. He was definitely injuring old. He was not retiring
Yeah. He was
people.
punk kicking RVD, Mick
Yeah,
Foley, Dusty Rhodes. Like that's it.
but
He was just he was making appearances and he was just taking them out. These guys are active competitors.
yes, but not to be, and I'm not going to be political at all. I just think with it being in DC and it's going to be an American hero against a European heel, I just feel like they're not going to win a career in that with him losing. So I will tell you this: the more interesting story for the company moving forward is if Gunther is retiring people. But I don't think, for a particular reason, I'll just say that Cena is going to win the match, and it'll be a whole, oh my God, what an American hero John Cena is at the end of the show. That's what I think they're
We
going.
have caught and compromised Gunther. Like,
That's right.
okay. No, but you
Yeah.
did mention that I could do a whole little celebration with the Dodgers thing. So I brought my hat. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my,
This
here
whole
it
beautiful
is.
this whole beautiful hat thing. And like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what I can do because the Dodgers won the World Series again. Shohei Ohtani won MVP again. Wrestling is pretty cool on the other side again. And you know what I mean, but like not really tonight. All due respect to the good old professional wrestling or professional sports
Yeah.
entertainment, but you get some things that you like and you get some things that you don't. But that's the thing with going forward. We have Gunther against Jey Uso. Who the fuck is asking for this shit? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. But like, hold on a minute. What is this one? Did I show that? Hold on. I agree. Mick Funko head, Mick Funko Pop. He
All
has
right.
the biggest. The
Let's
JD
leave this
has a
guy
big
alone.
head.
Let's leave this
JD
guy
has
alone.
like
Come
the
on.
second you hit the back of their head, it starts like
Oh
bobbling and
my.
everything. Like,
I'll tell you what, he has been
hold on.
the most under the radar pro wrestler in WWE in 2025. He's had bangers every time he's in the ring. And he just had a match with Ilya. Him and Finn are a really good tag team. Like, all right, he has a big head, and guess what? He uses it in matches. Oh, come on. And bobble. I mean, come on, man. That is ridiculous. Let's leave JD alone, for God's sake. Like JD, one of the best sellers in pro wrestling. He took hey, you know what, Rami? He took your favorite move. He took the double AA. So let's just leave the guy alone.
He did. if I could bring up my Hideo Nomo bobblehead, I'll freaking take it out any day of the week. So once I see McFunko head, McBobblehead, I'm gonna do it, right? Without a doubt, without a doubt. But of course, heading into our next match,
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella for the WWE Women's World Championship. You know, they've been feuding for 2, 3 weeks now. Nikki Bella turned her back on Stephanie Vaquer following her win over Raquel Rodriguez. Stephanie Vaquer, that is,
Yeah.
her win over Raquel Rodriguez. Um, and since then she's done nothing. And I say this in the most respectful way possible, but they did not help Nikki Bella whatsoever. Like she turned heel, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna make you come out every week for
Just
promos,"
1 week.
and that's
Just 1 week.
sorry,
Came out at
1 week
MSG.
of 1 week of promo. You're gonna attack her, make it look awkward, and we're just gonna move on from it.
Because this
Like
Monday,
really,
this Monday was just a
like
Stephanie video package. Nikki wasn't on the show on Monday.
literally, exactly. Like, come on now. Like they helped her with nothing. They didn't do anything for her, and
Yeah.
then it felt like this match. The first half, of course, was what do you call it? But that bobblehead is crazy, and that bobblehead is JD McFunko Pop.
Come
But
on.
like, anyways,
Low blow.
sorry,
I'm here for
but
you, JD, if you need anything. I'm here.
but no, like the first half was Nikki Bella, all her and everything, you know, forearms, the freaking boots, the knees, countering stuff, you know, using some dirty tactics outside. She even did pull out a Bella Buster on the outside. Once I saw that, I was like, Primo! But like, you know what I mean? But like, after that, Stephanie Vaquer started getting her, you know, licks in and whatnot. She did her, you know, move that was she drives her opponent's head into the
Yep.
freaking. I don't know what it's called, like the Devil's Kiss,
Yep.
or
Yep.
the devil, yeah, Devil's Kiss. God bless me.
You're
But
good.
like she did that on the apron, on the announce table, which I was like, oh shit, that was freaking nuts. And then she did it in the ring, like a freaking like a final execution shot. And then she hit that almost spiral tap looking finisher. AJ Styles says it's not a spiral tap. It looks like a spiral tap, but of course,
Sure.
she hits it 1, 2, 3, retains the championship. And I just think that that was like the best way to close out that chapter, but it also doesn't help out anybody because Nikki had back-to-back losses to Roxanne Perez. Nikki lost to Asuka. Nikki
She was on a
lost
4-match
to
losing streak before this match. 4-match losing
like
streak.
like she's literally lost to every single person. The only win that she got, no, she didn't even win whenever like, that tag team match of her and Stephanie against
Then
Judgment Day
she
because
got
Roxanne
pinned
pinned her again.
by Roxanne.
Roxanne
Yeah.
pinned her again. And then Roxanne has to be relegated to, you know, this, you know, opportunity, whatever, which is cool, John Cena, whatever. But it's the fact that she should have had, you know, the championship shot right there.
It's
It should.
confounding too, Rami, because they have Roxanne.
Hello.
It's confounding too because they have Roxanne come on Raw on Monday and be like, why am I not in the title match? I pinned Nikki Bella twice. Raquel's like, oh, we won that tag match. Why am I getting it? Like, if they know they're running the other characters to act logical, but then we're booking I gotta be honest, a stupid idea for where Nikki just like the fact that you can just beat someone up and get a title match for me is just the laziest booking you can do. Like she's just it's simple. Win a match, win 2 matches, get a title shot. It's just you got to make wins and losses matter. And for Nikki, they have not done that. Now, to be fair to her, or not to be fair to her, I guess. In my opinion, I hate to be harsh. I don't want to be this harsh. The in-ring has not been great.
We're being harsh.
I'm being harsh. The in-ring has not been there for me since she's been back. And I don't, you know, she's had a lot of injuries, especially neck-related issues. But I haven't been like wowed. I think she just needs a lot more reps. But she's like, the problem is she's popping kind of in and out like once a month, sometimes twice a month. And because there's no more live events, if she's really like back, I would just have her wrestling every week type of thing, just to getting more reps because I just think it would help. And it's weird. It's a 4-match show and they still found a way to, and I hate to be, again, harsh, but it felt like a filler match. And it's a 4-match show. I think I like shows that are like 4 to 6 matches. I think it's a good amount of matches. I just think when you have that little amount of matches, they shouldn't be filler. You know, they all should feel very important. And the crowd was totally dead for this whole match. And they weren't really brought into the match by anything in the ring either. So Stephanie's title reign has been frustrating, not because of her, but they're just kind of lost. They have no idea what to do with Stephanie because Rhea and Io can't be in the title picture because Stephanie's supposed to be this very over top baby face. Becky and AJ not in the title picture, right? You have Maxine not as the IC champion. Plus, you just had Stephanie beat Raquel and Roxanne individually over the last 2 months, right? So it's just you don't really know where to go from next for Stephanie. Like I got both women's divisions are like out of nowhere, like thin. Like the title pictures, like Jade is like beating up Chelsea Green on SmackDown and feuding with like B-Fab, and now we have Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. Like we need good title feuds moving forward. Both divisions need a lot of change, and both champions need more stuff to work with, I think, as well.
They really, really do. Like, I know that Bianca Belair should be coming back around sometime soon. Maybe even like, I maybe I don't know. I don't think it should be Rumble time at all. I think I don't really know just yet. I think that she could come back and they could set up like a Saturday Night Main Event return. Like
Sure.
you know, Jade, like because Lord knows they're gonna probably set up Nishan and B-Fab against Jade at Saturday Night Main Event and be like, oh, the triple threat match. Oh, she could lose the title. And then
Yeah.
Jade decimates both women. And then they move on to like Bianca Belair and whatnot, which would be cool. Like those two face each other at the Rumble. Bianca still enters the Rumble trying to get her shot at winning it.
Yeah.
Comes up short and whatnot over Liv Morgan, especially. I think that would be cool if she gets the last minute by Liv, setting up that whole like last year you beat me to head the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This year I beat you to head. It's because that's how good stories can be. You get a story from SummerSlam or Survivor Series or Chamber, and we're like, oh, why did that have to happen? And then a year later, we get the other way around where it still helps out everybody and
Mhm.
makes people look strong, people look good. Um, but I really don't know what else they can really do for the women. Really, I don't know because you want to see the very very best, but it feels like the very best that we know aren't getting the recognition, the push that they
Sure.
deserve. Like look at Julia, the women's United States champion, and then she loses it, and then they don't really know what to do with her whatsoever. They're like, oh, like just move with the Raw then. You know
Well,
what I mean? Put Nikki on SmackDown. Let her, beat up Mishin and B-Fab and all the women that or just use as like enhancement, and then put Julia on Raw and let her go through all the women and start, dominating, decimating. But knowing Triple H and knowing how WWE works, they like to put all the people of the same ethnicities together. So they probably put Julia with Asuka and Kyrie and be like, oh, this is the new damage control. It's even more damaging. Like
I
okay,
don't
whatever.
I don't
What's that
disagree.
supposed to mean?
It's confounding again because obviously 6 years ago, Vince really didn't know how to book and use foreign talent because he was nervous promo wise. But then it really changed with Io over the last 2 years, where she's just not speaking any English in any of these promos, and she's still getting very over. They're using
Mm-hmm.
cool video package to set, with the captions, but they are totally lost with Julia and Stephanie promo work because they're just nervous. They don't do good enough English. I think they're both, especially Stephanie's perfectly fine English. I just don't understand
Yeah.
why they're so lost with these two. Again, like I don't think Jade's the greatest thing ever, but these two title pictures are so lost right now. You can say, well, they just had to use 10 women, for war games, but that's just not a good enough excuse to not have title pictures more interesting on both brands right now. It's rough for the
I get
women.
that. It really is. But heading into the men's
Oh
War
boy.
Games match, well, first off, we got the attendance. They were showing off all the stars and whatnot. Um, Danielle Fishel was there, Topanga from Boy Meets World. And what made me pop so much was seeing her wear the Vader shirt, because I've seen that Boy Meets World episode with Vader in it a billion times. Like I loved watching it growing up. So Saved by the Bell and Boy Meets World. I'm not from the '90s, but MTV would show those shows on reruns in the morning before I go to school, and I would watch them and be like, man, that's pretty damn cool. So seeing Vader, of course, on her T-shirt, the late great,
Yep.
very very happy to see that. And then they moved into the War Games match, which we got CM Punk stepping out. I'm wearing his shirt. I got might as well. The only person's like shirt that was in the match that I really got. Like I don't got a Cody shirt because most of them look MAGA, and I mean that respectfully. But not really respectfully, because I don't respect MAGA, but it just looks too American. Like it's just too much. Um, hold on. First time
Welcome,
here,
Matthew.
that guy in the suit, who was he? If we're talking about the mystery person,
We'll
we'll
talk
get to
about
that in a moment. We'll talk about that in a second. But
it.
we
By
got
the way,
CM Punk stepping.
well over 1,000 people right now. Like, holy crap. Thank you, everyone who's watching. And if you're new,
Yeah,
follow us everywhere because we do these shows every single night. So it means a lot that over 1,200 and nearly 1,200 people are watching us. Definitely since I've been here at BodySlam, this is the most amount of people. I don't, by the way, Dawson. I do not rock with main event.
we don't. I don't think none of us rock
Especially,
for minute. I love Dawson so much. That's my boy. Like my man, my
I don't rock
man.
with him, especially because in the middle of the War Games match, they stopped wrestling for 3 minutes to do the entrance back
The
again.
yeet,
I was
the
so
yeet. Oh
annoyed
my
during
God.
it. Okay, it made no sense.
No,
And then it
like
was funny. Like Michael Cole was like, "Oh my God, CM Punk's has a chair." He's just like, "Oh my God, he'll fight someone." Then CM Punk's playing the air guitar, and then I was like, "What the hell is going on?" That's what I couldn't think. I couldn't stop thinking about during Jey Uso redoing the entrance in the middle, and it was 4-on-4 at this point, Rami. It was 4-on-4. Oh my
hmm
God.
No, but I want to say this. Like, okay, CM Punk came out. He was wearing the jacket. I fuck with it so much because Halloween 3, you know what I mean? The season of the witch. I was like, that's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I used to hate it years ago, but I was like, that's pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
Braun Breaker come out.
Oh
Braun
yeah.
Breaker, I think he was like rocking some like, of course the Steiners and whatnot with that jacket because it really gave off that vibe. Either that or World Warriors, but I don't
Yep.
want to say the wrong thing, and all of a sudden I get a shocking through my chest out of nowhere to my back.
Oh my.
But I'm just I'm just saying, you never know. There could be a freaking sniper right there aiming through my window,
All right.
blasting
Well,
my
we
head
don't. Or
open.
not that. All right. Come on. All right. I don't need to be
We
witness to
never.
that.
I don't know, man. That could happen.
I don't need to be
But like
witness
then
for that.
we get those two in the ring. I love that when CM Punk is getting his ass whooped the whole freaking time by Braun Breaker, and they're like, "Oh, who's the next man up? It's gonna be from Team Breaker." And Drew's music hit. I was like, the biggest hater in the world. Was like, "Oh fuck, I get to beat the shit out of this guy." Like,
Yep.
it was great. Oh, hold on. The jacket. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. But no. Then Cody Rhodes gets into the action. CM Punk gets a little bit of busted open over there. I was like, oh my god, like that looked nasty. Then we got Jimmy Uso in there. He got Claymored. I vividly remember the very quick Claymore to Jimmy Uso. I was like, oh, he's dead.
Yep.
Um, then Logan Paul came in. Jey Uso, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar killed Roman Reigns to the announce table.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, all right,
For the
typical
60th
fashion.
time, probably, because we've seen this how many freaking times?
I know. I've seen that spot 50 million times already. So
Jesus
then,
Christ.
um, they do. I like the spots, of course, where Bronson Reed was, tsunamiing everybody, getting up on
Great
that
moment.
top rope,
Yeah.
hitting it beautiful times.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and thanks for covering that. I'm forced to.
We cover,
Besides
we
that,
cover it all. We cover it all here, but like,
we
literally everything pro
we
wrestling is here.
yeah, like literally, there's even independent wrestling, hell, midget wrestling. We got you on lock, brother. Like you know what I mean. I don't know if that's an offensive word, but you know what I mean. We're going with it. But like then everybody's all in the mix. Crazy stuff is happening. Chairs being thrown. Braun Breaker almost injured his neck very badly. That was a very scary spot. The Doomsday device that they ran. I was like, golly, don't let that happen. Like he's an Energizer Bunny. You know what I mean? Braun Breaker is the Energizer Bunny. He does not know when to stop. And so when he even tries to flip himself out of these spots, it's like, brother, don't try to kill yourself now. But we're reaching towards the end. Everybody's in the mix of the action. Brock Lesnar gets taken out. Roman Reigns is trying to, get back into the mix. Then he gets wiped out. Cody gets wiped out. Then the final men are Braun Breaker and CM Punk. The first two guys that started off were the same guys that end it,
Yeah.
but it came with interference. It came with interference from a hooded figure who hit this super kick and that curb stomp. Everyone was like, "Oh, Seth Rollins." I'm like, brother, are you fucking dumb? Like, come on, like all due respect, whoever it is, if it's Austin Theory
Yeah.
or whoever, like here, let's go back. Like that, was Austin Theory the mystery guy?
Yes. Yes.
this guy put. I bet it was Seth or Dean. I don't know.
Really?
I think John.
Really?
I think John Moxley has a contract with a place called All Elite Wrestling.
I
He just fought on Wednesday. He's
when
fighting his
I
best friend on Wednesday. Like,
when I went to WrestleMania 40 here it was not Randy Orton. When I went to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, and when Seth came out for the Shield and came out with the Shield music, Rami, in the main event of WrestleMania with Cody, and oh my God, the Shield's coming out. Everyone around me was like, oh my God, Dean Ambrose is back. And I literally had to say, everyone, he's not coming. Like, dude, he is so Mr. AW. Like, he's like, people have no, I hate to be this, people have no idea. Okay. None. They live sometimes in a dream world. Moxley's is doing pretty good work, in my opinion, in AEW. But yeah, I think it's definitely Austin.
Moxley is doing his greatest work in AEW. As one person said on Daily DDT, John Moxley is a wrestling genius. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that guy has been doing some of the best work, and now we got the Continental Classic where he's been able to show off even more stuff, from the young talent to his best friends to just anyone that steps in his freaking way. Like, it's
Yeah.
great time. So if anyone, I don't know why people would think, oh, he just competed on Wednesday. Yeah, he's gonna be just jumping ship to, like, Montez Ford. I don't think so.
No, it's definitely
Max, this is for you.
Max. When do you think they will reveal who the man in black in the suit was? Probably this week. I don't think they're going to wait that long on this. I think it's definitely Austin Theory. Braun Strowman, by the way, doing better ratings than SmackDown on Friday nights after the show.
Yeah,
so,
dude. It's so funny too, because like he has some like troll title headlines on his episodes. Like there was the one that they did in Chicago, and it's like the best in the world. We're like, dude, come on! Like he's like, oh, you're the best hot dogs in the world, brother. I'm like, really? Like people think CM Punk when they think that. Who was the mystery person said by Corey Hayes? Austin Theory is a very big, highly touted name that's being pushed as that guy. And honestly, if you see how the way that he threw that super kick and that curb stomp, it could very well be.
It was a very jacked individual. It was a very jacked individual.
And we know that Theory's jacked before he did, get wiped out off TV. His show is doing better than AEW, not SmackDown.
Oh yeah, sorry, AEW. Sorry, that's my mistake. But yes, Braun Strowman show doing very well on the 10 o'clock Friday night. But I was gonna say, Theory makes sense because he was rumored to and reported on. Why was everyone? By the way, Corey's not the first person to say this. Everyone was saying this on Twitter, and I was like, "What? Oh my God!" Everyone,
geez. Popping bottles,
oh my God. This is what everyone's looking at. This guy is in a full black, and this is what everyone's looking at. Is okay. Well, I guess this is where we are. But I was saying, Theory was reported to be a part of when they originally were doing this match. He was supposed to be on.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer said he's
the
in
heel
here.
side.
I'll be popping bottles.
Oh my!
Champagne.
What is this turning into?
I love that video so fucking bad. Like I legit, when he comes back, WWE needs to get the licensing for that song and just give it to Theory. Just let him come out with bottles of champagne and everything. Like let it happen. Like why are we stopping greatness?
But yeah, so again, Theory was supposed to be on the heel side, the Vision side of this War Games like months ago. And Meltzer reported, and then other top reporters also confirmed that it was originally part of the plan. So it's obviously not Seth. He literally just had surgery. So
yeah, dude, come on now.
But yeah, I think it's definitely Theory, but it's Theory, but where is the interesting through line? It's Theory, but what is the actual story? That's what's interesting. Is what's next for obviously Braun pinned Punk, which is going to be important because
Braun that's Saturday main event match.
Braun should have the match against Punk, and again. People might hate me for this. Braun should absolutely win the world title. He shouldn't be losing these big matches. He should be, because I don't think, sadly, based on after this show, I think there's a good chance Roman. Oh God, I think all my wrestling friends say this. What are your thoughts on Braun versus Punk is Mania? Do you think, Rami, do you think there's a good chance Roman's winning the Rumble this year?
No, not one bit.
Because people are now saying this, and I cannot believe that would happen. Now, because I don't think Roman, first of all, needs a world title match on these shows. I think you can do Braun Roman totally fine without the title. But if the storyline is Braun pinned Punk, so now Braun gets the world title match, that eliminates Braun from winning the Rumble, right? Because if he loses to Punk, then wins the Rumble, that would kind of be stupid. So if Braun's going to face Punk before the Rumble, I would have Braun win. But then it leaves open who would win the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? And Roman has been setting up, oh my God, it's Punk or Cody I'm just very frustrated by the direction at the very end of the show. But I'm happy with Braun pinning Punk. That was my favorite part about the match. Needed to happen. Need Braun to be like, I'm getting a world title shot now. And let's just get the Braun champion thing into full gear here, in my opinion.
I would like to see Braun Breaker win the world championship. I would. I just feel like with the way that WWE handles things and the way that they plan stuff, it always fucks people's plans over.
Really
Like
does.
they said, like Dave Meltzer reported that it could have been Austin Theory in this matchup.
Yep.
Braun starting with Punk was intentional too. Yeah, because it felt like the Iron Man match. You know what I mean? Like a Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels Survivor Series, like Iron Man type of match. You start as the first two guys, you end as the last two guys, and whatnot. So I very much like that whole idea of whatnot because Punk's the big vet. Punk's the guy. So if Seth Rollins isn't there for the next couple of months, which they were trying to say that the idea was that Roman Reigns main events night 2 of WrestleMania versus Seth Rollins. Why? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't need that match. Like, if it didn't happen this past year, WWE fucked up a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this all out loud because CM Punk should have fought Gunther. Cody Rhodes should have fought, Cena in the most normal match ever. You didn't need the heel run if you were gonna run the heel run the way that you did. Jey Uso, I don't really, mind what he could have done, really. You could have just put him back with Jimmy Uso. What I mean, Jimbo and Big J. And then with Gunther and Punk, Cena and Cody, Roman and Seth, like, those matches all did fit. And you could have had Seth Rollins, have the whole Paul Heyman betrayal in the Roman match. Because CM Punk, right when the betrayal happened, look at Monday Night Raw the following time. He didn't care at all. Like, he came involved. He got attacked by Braun Breaker and whatnot, and then they moved on to Saturday main event. And then afterwards, he was like, I'm tired of this. I want to move on. Let me fight Gunther. He beats Gunther for the world championship. Let's bring back Seth Rollins into this feud. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. You know why people cared? AJ Lee came back. You know why people cared? AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch happened. That's the reason why people were like, hey, I can finally tune in for this because we already seen Seth and CM Punk so many times that we were like, why do we have to see a 15 millionth time when we got the Netflix match? We got the Netflix match. We got the Royal Rumble. We got the Chamber. We got the WrestleMania match. We got the Fatal 4-Way match. Like, there's so many different matchups that they had. And Mitch Marner makes a goal. And there's so many different matchups that they had that, they could have easily just said, we're done, we're settled with a feud, move on from it. They didn't.
I agree. I agree. I think for me, WWE's in a spot where a lot of their top talent are 40 and above age-wise. And especially in this match, it was all built on old rivalries that we've seen a billion times. Like Roman and Cody, don't need to see that again. Roman and Brock, don't need to see that again, right? I think Cody and Punk, is a huge match for WrestleMania. Like, that feels like a match we haven't seen. That feels like a big match. Like,
which I want to say this. Roman showed some signs of very animosity. This question's for you. He showed some signs of animosity, but Cody did as well. Cody was very frustrated. Do you think this plans more of seeds for Cody Rhodes turn heel when shit hits the fan even harder? Because losing that matchup was crucial. And here's the thing. Drew McIntyre had that contract. I know that contract wasn't just a sign for the match during the War Games match. He was already part of that. That right there guaranteed him WWE Championship match. Guaranteed. He's got one more shot at the WWE Championship to fight Cody Rhodes for it. And this should be the spot. This should be the opportunity where Cody finally drops the title.
I want Punk to go heel. If there's a choice between Cody and Punk, I am very tired of the good guy, happy-go-lucky CM Punk. He was happy-go-lucky in AEW for his whole run, and he's been happy-go-lucky basically for 4 years now. He's been a happy-go-lucky guy. I am ready because Punk's been not going super deep with the promos because he's a baby face. He doesn't want to, bury quote-unquote people in this promo because he's supposed to be the baby face. I am done with that. I want heel, arrogant, Punk. I don't think Cody's turning heel. I think people are going to keep wishing that. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm just very nervous with the ending of the show because the show ends with Roman telling Cody, "I'm never tagging with you again." I first of all do not want Roman Cody 3. Really do not at this year's Mania. Do not. And I don't want. And I think Roman and Punk is a better option than that. And I think Cody and Punk is a better option than both of those. I just think I'm very nervous because Roman is not in the title picture. He's very much heavily hinting that he's in between who he wants to wrestle, for the world title. The Royal Rumble is in Saudi Arabia. Roman will get a huge reaction if he wins the Royal Rumble. I still think Sami Zayn should win the Royal Rumble, but I don't. The more the days go by, the less that seems. I am very nervous with the booking. I couldn't be more nervous. It's amazing. Like 2 years ago, we all had faith in the company and the booking heading into like that leading to WrestleMania 40. I think everyone had first time ever in my lifetime people had unanimous faith. Now we're at a point where people are like, including me, have no idea what's going to happen in a nervous way, not in an exciting way. Like we have like, are they really going to do like Roman? Because Roman and Brock was heavily featured on this on this show together wrestling, and they did that match. God, 3 or 4 WrestleManias, 2 or 3 Summers, like a billion times.
I know so many times they fought each other. Like it's like a cyanide pill that you want to keep taking. You know what I mean? And you're not dying.
I just think
give me a break here.
I just think for 2026 they need to make new stars in the main event level. They are so stale at the top right now, both brands, main event wise. I am ready for like a Braun Breaker to be a top guy, and Obafemi to be a top guy, and Javon Evans to be one of the top guys, and JC Jane and Roxanne Perez, people like this, to be at the top of the card because they are kind of running out of matches now. Because they've wrestled, they've done Roman and Usos against people, and they've done, Cody and Roman. They've done all these matches before. I just think you need to establish young, new stars.
Yeah,
all these top people are in their 40s to 50s at this point.
Speaking of another top star that's reaching that 40s and 50s, 40s, I would say Ethan Page. Such a great talent. Ethan Page is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that he's wrestling in a high school gym, if you know what I mean. Like with all these like youngsters. Like I'm not even saying that in like throwing shade to bingo halls or independent wrestling companies or none of that stuff. No, but it's more so like the atmosphere for NXT is very we're the youngsters, we're the next up and everything. And then the world champion is Ricky Saints, who's almost close to 40. And then you have like Ethan and then you have Ethan Page, who's the North American champion. It's like, where's the future? Like Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Miles Bourne, and Dion Lennox and somebody else, they're in the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Yeah.
But Javon Evans needs to win it. Javon Evans needs to beat Ricky Saints, and you need to move on with this stuff. You need to get those guys up to the main roster. But one person said one of the greatest comments I thought was like, actually, I agree with this. Ethan Page could very well be the JBL of SmackDown. Him and Chelsea Green with the cabinet would be so amazing, and it would honestly be a fantastic push and pull that you can get, because whether you make him the United States champion over Ilya, like a guy meeting Ilya is so intense. He's so in, but Ethan Page is so strong and versatile, and he'll find a way to cheat and get himself the upper hand. Like, look at the transformation he's had from body-wise and work ethic. He's juiced himself up, boosted himself up so much that the guy that we saw from TNA to AEW to WWE is complete different chapters of his career, and he's doing such great work. He's in his close to his 40s or in his 40s and whatnot, and that's a guy that I see that can very well be a good like world champion in the future. But then we see these guys who are in that age, and people are like, "Oh, 40 is the new prime." Somebody said. Yeah. If that was the case, why has LA Knight been like literally lowered down so much? And they're like, "Hey, he should win the Money in the Bank, but Damian Priest will." And I have nothing against Damian Priest. Damian Priest is one of my absolute favorites. Punishment Martinez, I was a massive fan of in Ring of Honor. But if they were giving it to Damian, And then the following year, they gave it to Drew McIntyre just to lose it
Yeah.
in that same night. They don't build a Money in the Bank like they used to, where the future star is going to be the face of the company, like how Seth Rollins had been, or Bryan Danielson had been, or Edge had been. Like there was certain people who cashed in the Money in the Bank, and then we saw them transcend themselves and get into this big picture. That's not happening whatsoever. Javon Evans, great. Leon Slater for TNA, he's so great. Even the women are doing such a fantastic job. Kaylani Jordan carried the TNA brand while they were dealing with so much. She wanted to carry the knockouts. She had a pretty good
Yeah.
run. Lost to Lei Ying Lee, and I'm like, okay, cool. But when she gets to that main roster, they're gonna treat her the same way they treated Roxanne Perez. They're gonna treat her the same way that they treated all the other talent. We build you up, and then we make you win your first week or first 2 weeks and lose.
And then imagine
And
what
then
NXT is gonna look like, right, Rami? Because like we're talking about all these people, like like for example, like Oba, Javon in particular, right? Well, and Trick, they all need to be done with NXT. But here's the other thing, right? If you're looking at like Trick, especially, like Trick is done. Like, see ya. Like he should not be on NXT.
so done,
I just
so
think
done.
you also have to look at it like this, right? Because this is the tough part business wise. NXT is on the CW, which is the biggest network cable wise they are on.
Yeah, it
They
is.
can't.
KTLA 5 here in California. Yeah.
They just can't, because it would completely deplete their men's main event scene. Because I agree, because I think Ricky's going to beat Oba on. I think they're going to have Oba lose again on Saturday.
Yeah.
If that happens,
they
right?
gotta.
Oba's done. Trick's done. If hopefully Javon wins the Iron Survivor and beats, let's just say Ricky Saints is probably going to get called up. They just don't have a lot of top male main event talent at this point. That's the other thing they're trying to balance here is like, should we call everyone up at the same time? How do we balance it? It's a problem. But again, like you watch Javon against Gunther on Raw, guys main roster ready at this point. If Oba was in the Royal Rumble, I would pick him to win because I think Oba's a guy who should dominate when he gets called up and not be like an underdog babyface. Like Oba should be like squashing people on the main roster. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just think,
like how Braun Breaker got brought in and how he was having those like 3 5-second matches, spear, just dominate. That's how Oba Femi is. Oba Femi is like levels ahead of everybody.
So it's just, I don't know. I want youth and I want these people to be top main event talent so quickly. But and you're right. I just don't think they're going in that direction. I think they're making Roman fighting for the world title, one of them at WrestleMania. And that to me is just honestly not interesting. It just is. It's not. Roman should be nowhere near the title picture. He's been there, done that. I think at this point, Roman just needs to be putting over people. He's still very much part-time. Like he shows up for like 2 or 3 weeks and then gets hurt, goes off and does something for 2 months, then comes back for 2 or 3 weeks. I just, that's how I feel. I'm frustrated. I want them.
They never explained that. They never explained his sleeve. Did he get like a tattoo or something, or was he like?
Roman?
Yeah. Did they ever explain? Like, remember when he came back, he had like a black sleeve, and then like tonight, did he have that black sleeve still, or?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Dude,
right.
I'm blind. I'm blind, dude. I
didn't realize there was even a difference. I had no idea. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, look at us. Our brains are singing like, what the fuck's going on here? No, but because on when he returned on Monday Night Raw, he had like that black sleeve, and people were like, oh, did he get a tattoo? Did he get injured? Something like that. And then tonight, I don't think I saw a black sleeve. I don't think I did.
I don't know if I saw. I don't know if there was a black. I'll look right now while you're talking. I didn't think.
Yeah,
there was.
but like no, like this event really did not help anybody. I mean, it helped Braun Breaker, yes. Stephanie Valkyria moves on. Dominic Mysterio was the biggest star of the night because, of course, beating John Cena is the biggest accomplishment. It's like defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania. You beat this guy in his last freaking pay-per-view match, that's it. That's it. You're massive as hell.
Yeah.
And then the women's War Games, another fun year of, the women face, taking over. But we got to have a year where the heels win. You know what I mean? The women heels need to finally win one. I believe next year at least. If you can.
We also need just stories for both War Games matches. Like I
want to say this.
There are no stories.
War Games next year. We don't need War Games next year. We need to bring back the traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination matches. Because when I saw Team Sammy versus Team Solo last night, I was like, what happened to this? what happened to the place I love? What happened to the cool like Survivor Series
Yeah.
matchups that we would have? I grew up and I got to see that 30-man that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal where Claudio Castagnoli threw over the Big Show, Paul White, and got the big win at WrestleMania 30, and I was like, man, that's awesome. How can they build up from that? The following year, I think Baron Corbin won it, and I was like, oh, okay.
No,
And then
Big
the
Show
after,
won it on the pre-show in
so
Santa Clara. Yeah.
Big Show won it. Who
Yeah,
else
Corbin
won
was the
it?
year after, which was a good thing at that time because he was an NXT superstar at that time. So that was a big
Matt
win.
Hardy. Matt Hardy won it. Like freaking Jay Uso won it. Like there was so many
Lashley
people that
might have
won.
won it. Like, who knows, dude?
Yeah, Lashley won it. He didn't compete at WrestleMania and said, "I want out of the company." People were like, "Wow, he's so selfish." For what? If I and I remember the same interview he threw that same year, Lashley said, "I want to main event WrestleMania next year." And then when he saw that the plans were Cody Rhodes goes back to the main event of WrestleMania, he was like, "Dude, I'm gone. Like there's literally no freaking way for me to even do anything big here." The event elevated Breaker and AJ in terms of stories. And
Yeah.
AJ Lee wise, yeah, of course, her and what Becky we're talking about. Like, I believe that that story definitely elevates. We
Yeah,
get
yeah.
ourselves like we need a actual no holds barred between those two women. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let them go all out, let them go crazy. But Braun Breaker, massive star, pitting CM Punk in the main event, especially after like I have a plaque right there of CM Punk when he made his return. I'm wearing a CM Punk shirt, the best in the world shirt, the Summer of Punk. Last year, CM Punk and Roman Reigns, defeated the OG. Oh, sorry, they defeated like the new bloodline or whatever. All right, cool. But then this year, him taking that pin, taking that loss, it's big because Braun Breaker is the future. They say Braun's the future. They say Dominic Mysterio is the future. They say Carmelo Hayes is the future. Those guys are future main eventers of WrestleMania. And if CM Punk believes and trusts in them, and same thing with John Cena, then
Yep.
of course, they see the future and they want the very best. But it's people who are running creative that are just not helping us out in the end when we want a memorable event. Like, they're not going to listen to me ever, but we need to start bringing matches on the pre-show. There needs to be one or two
Just
matches on the
one or two.
pre-show that allows people to at least have a spotlight on there. And then you have a pay-per-view with 5 or 6 matches, and that's nice. That's enjoyable. Like, I tolerate AEW, even though they go very deep. I'm in California, so I don't deal with East Coast time, so I have to everybody in the East Coast and everything. But anyways, I enjoy the 12 matches, 13 matches that we have, the 4 matches on the pre-show, and then like the 8, 9 matches that we have on the main card. And we're like, man, that was amazing. That was great. But we feel satisfied that where every story got a proper, way of writing it in of, okay, that's the next, page. This is the next chapter for them. But then when we find other products and we get a Sami Zayn feud with Solo Sikoa for months, ending on a SmackDown,
Jeez.
or the tag team titles, the women's title, any mid-card championship defended on the Monday or SmackDown Go Home show, that's not cool, dude. Get these people on the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like Survivor Series 98, you know what was one of the matches? Steven Regal with his I'm a Real Man gimmick against X-Pac. Pretty damn good match. But, nowadays they'd be like, I don't think those guys deserve TV time. Why the fuck not? Saturday main event will be a fun show to end 2025, Corey
Hopefully.
says.
Hopefully,
I
man.
I hope. Um, but who knows?
I
But
and I just saw your tweet, Corey. I agree. Like, I don't think we need war games. I think the show, if they're gonna do war games, a story needs to call to do it. And I agree. Like AEW, I thought In Ring had 2 way better, technically, war games matches. Like the Blood and Guts, women and men, I thought was a lot better than tonight. But even AEW didn't have many great stories in those matches going in.
those
Um,
blood and the only story that I liked for Blood and Guts was the women's side because the women have been pushing so hard that
yeah,
Sky Blue, Tekla, and Julia Hart are these unstoppable women that will
yeah,
go to the lengths of being extreme. And then when you get them in the, Blood and Guts, we're like, hell yeah, that elevates it. And the ending, the storyline of that was like, okay, cool, builds it up because now Tony and Mina are like heading towards almost the finals for the women's tag
yep.
team championship, the inaugural tournament and whatnot. With this War Games match with the women's side, it felt just like a fun little get together, and then like the recreating the spots from last year or from the past couple of years. Like we don't need that. You know what I mean? We
I agree.
if we sorry, go on, but like we just need a proper way to end the feuds without having to be like, okay, next year we're doing it again. Like next year War Game, or next year Survivor Series. They
Yeah,
really need to
I
get
agree.
back to
Again,
the, the
has to call for
original feel.
the feud has the story slash the feud has to call for the match, not the day of the year calls for the match. Like, oh my God, it's November, so we have to get together 10 people for War Games. That is just late. Like, if we're gonna do War Games again next year, we got to have a momentum making like this feud has to end in War Games. There just wasn't a lot of heat in these two matches at all, and it just led to, again, I think the show had its moments at points. I think I agree with you. I think Dom and Liv, that element of the show was easily the most memorable thing on the show.
Yeah, the
Other than,
highest point.
yeah, other than that, like last 5 minutes of the Dom Cena match, I don't think there's going to be a lot that people are going to like remember. Like Io jumping off the cage with the swanton, that's a memorable moment. But I think in general, it turned out to be, especially for a big 5 pay-per-view for them, just underwhelming, I thought.
I can agree with that. But Saturday main event should be a lot of fun when we do head into CM Punk and Braun Breaker. Could be a big pivotal match there.
Hopefully,
Drew
yeah.
McIntyre, Cody Rhodes could be a good match there. John Cena's last match, which will more than likely be against Gunther after he defeats Jey Uso for the millionth time. And
Yeah. Yeah.
But the women's tag team championships, I don't think they're going to be on the line. We're going to get a bunch of NXT matches, I believe so. NXT against the main roster. I'm very excited for that because there's like a lot of matchups that I would like to see, transcend in there and whatnot. Because who knows what could happen? Maybe Dominic Mysterio does a little open challenge and whatnot for kind of the title, and we get an NXT star like answering it and whatnot. I think
Sure.
that'd be pretty cool. Like I don't think Javon Evans should answer because then I feel like that's kind of pushing him down. Like oh, you challenge for it, you don't get the championship, go back to NXT and go for the world title. Like um really it's just a weird clusterfuck that we have to deal with, and then we have to like piece things together. Like for AEW, at least I know the classic will be ending with Okada and Takeshita more than likely, but with the last time is now tournament,
Yeah.
it's ending with his shirt says Yeetin ain't easy. What the fuck does that mean?
No, I was thinking this. I've been thinking that for like 3 months now when he wears that shirt. I'm like,
Dude,
what is going on? Really?
and I'm so glad that you brought up before we do call it a night. I'm
Yes.
so glad that you brought up that every time that there's a match, he decides,
This was the stupidest. This was the apex of pure stupidity. It was 4-on-4, and we're stopping for this 3. He literally did the song for 3 minutes, and then Brock's music hit. It was
yeah,
insanely stupid.
yeah, they
Oh
legit
my
killed three
God.
minutes to be able to. They killed the 3 minutes that they had of wrestling to be able to do Yeeton, and then to bring up Brock Lesnar just to have that spot and everything. I was
They
just like,
almost
please
messed up the
God,
rules because they were building up the whole.
Brock,
Brock left
yeah,
the ring, and then they had to change it, be like, oh my God, the match didn't technically start yet, so it's okay that they're out of the ring. But then Michael Cole like slipped because when Brock was on the steps, Michael Cole's like, what is Brock doing? I was thinking the same thing because they said if you leave the ring, it's a forfeit. And then they left the ring because technically the match didn't start until they were all in the cage. And Corey, you are right. I'm just saying from like a logic perspective of the actual like the fake, whatever you want to call it, the storylines are it just for me it pulls me out of reality is what it is for sure.
I don't like that every match has to include the whole let's repeat it, let's do the whole repeat every single time. Like I don't need that. Like like if you did it on the pay-per-views, like
Yeah,
only the pay-per-views, I'd be like, okay, cool. It's like a little pay-per-view special thing, whatever, cool, whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah,
to
yeah.
do it on Monday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Sunday, like, dude, well, sorry, Saturday, dude, dog, stop, like, fucking stop, please, like, respectfully. But
Yep.
of course, that was Survivor Series. That was an event that we all tuned in for. I mainly tuned in so I could get a little bit of a good laugh against the San Diego Padres and Petco Park
Yeah.
because I know Dodger fan. But of course, I was very happy to see the women's show out the way that they did. Dominic Mysterio shine bright. Um, Stephanie Valkyrie get past a legend like Nikki Bella, and to move on to a new feud, just a whole new feud, get them out of there and whatnot. Like Roxanne Perez, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley are right there for Stephanie Valkyrie, and we should definitely get those matchups going.
Yep.
And then the men's War Games match ending with Braun Breaker and CM Punk getting pinned. Um,
Yeah.
and then the mystery person, which might be Austin Theory. We'll see all what happens on Monday Night Raw. But of course, this is Saturday night. It's Survivor Series. It is 8:40 p.m. here in California. It is 11:40 p.m. over there in Philadelphia. Like my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow morning we have a bunch of good football games. We also have in Doha, Qatar, Formula One, the final race of the year, was one of the final races of the year for Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and Max Verstappen. A good little shout out sports plug. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. Truly, we had almost 1,500 people in here. I
Crazy.
was I was hoping for that number, and I'm very, very glad that we got it. We had 700 on the BodySlam Twitter, 300 on another Twitter, 376 on my Twitter, and on the other pages we had a whole bunch of viewers. Very, very happy to see. Very, very grateful and very glad, of course, being able to talk with Max about War Games because, of course, he asked me yesterday, and Twitter's been just a big clusterfuck. This whole chat thing that's been updated has been messy. It takes 2 minutes for my phone to load, and I have a brand new phone, and I feel like I have one of those router phones and whatnot. I'm like about to explode. Um, like what freaking Linkin Park said, I'm about to break. You know what I mean? I feel that way. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, thank you so much to everybody that tuned in to
Yeah.
hear us yap and vent and to give our thoughts on the future of how WWE should be. We have another comment before.
Let's see.
Roman Reigns, legend, greatest of all time. I don't think so, pal. Blocked. But anyways, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. But thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. If you want to follow me on my socials, I am at Who Else But Rami. Who Else But Rami? You know the goat. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, anywhere that you find socials on, and you see this pretty face. You can be able to, hit me with that follow, and I don't really know, sell me some cookies or whatever. Max, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Max Dannenberg on Instagram, at Dannenberg Max on X. As pertains to BodySlam, it's going to be post-show city now for a while. It was like 3 weeks off. I was like, there's no pay-per-views on. But now we have, I'm probably going to be here Friday night for Final Battle, Ring of Honor. And then Saturday is.
If you need someone to also step in there for like a third man, I would be more than happy. Nigel McGuinness versus Lee Moriarty in the Iron Man match. Oh, so perfect.
I haven't told anyone, I'm for sure, because I watch every Ring of Honor show, so I assumed I would be the only person watching the show. But if you're watching, I'm down to have you back for Friday.
Oh, I would be more than happy for that. Oh hell yeah, brother!
And then Saturday I'll be doing also the post show for NXT Deadline. So we'll see what happens. Who wins down Survivor, and then Rami and I'm sure will be back because it'll be John Cena's final match on December 13th for Saturday night's main event. And then Black Hawk and sorry, yeah, you go. Sorry.
I need to cop a John Cena shirt when that match does happen. I need to represent for that one final matchup and everything. Just because you got to do that too. I don't know why, but you got to do that too. You got to find a shirt.
Well, I haven't had a John Cena shirt since I was 12 years old, so we'll see if I can.
I haven't had one since I was like 7. So get to it, Paul.
And also Black Hawk and I will be doing the post show for what is it at World's End, excuse me, on December 27th. Black Hawk and I also have a podcast every Friday where we talk all things Japanese wrestling. So someone said thanks for covering WWE. We also cover on that show New Japan, Stardom, Marigold, and Noah. So if you like Japanese wrestling, that is free. And as Rami said to begin the show, I do the highs and lows basically every night of the week. If it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision. I couldn't do SmackDown. I was too busy last night, but I'll be back with a highs and lows for Raw this upcoming Monday. And yeah, busy times in pro wrestling because we're at the end of the year. And also, Black Hawk and I, we talked about it. We were doing a live post show for Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. So because I don't sleep those days, because it's the only Japanese shows I stay up live for, because it's kind of like my
Hmm.
WrestleMania is Wrestle
Yeah,
Kingdom.
dude.
So we'll be up at like 7, 8 in the morning doing a live post show following Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. So busy times over the next month or so heading into 2026, Rami. We're almost at that point.
So excited. 2026 is going to be a massive, massive year. I cannot wait to see
Yeah.
what unfolds and everything. WrestleMania, where's it supposed to be this upcoming year? Vegas,
Vegas
right?
again.
Vegas again. I'm just an hour away from there. Who knows? Maybe I will be, just around in town
Oh,
and
okay.
everything. I'm legit right there and everything. I just like, I could even walk there if I wanted to, but like it's easy. But not actually easy. But like, I would love to, of course, see the festivity. I'm not going to WrestleMania. I would literally have to sell both my kidneys and then my little
You have
brother's
to go to the
kidneys as well.
casino and win huge, and then go to WrestleMania if you're really
Like,
do that.
dog, no. Like, I'm gonna go to like, there's this place called like, I don't know, like this burger joint. They have a burger called like the Heart Attack. I'd
Okay.
rather go eat 3 of those than to go to WrestleMania. Like, my goodness. But no. I cannot wait for 2026. It'll be a massive year. I cannot wait for all the big, big things that should come our way. December is going to be a very big month. We have to end off with a big boom. John Cena is going to be calling it a quit. And I just cannot wait to see how it goes.
So
Last December 15. I'm sorry to cut you off.
you're good.
I dealt with a bad, bad cold.
What else we got?
Where
Oh, sorry.
um uh, um I dealt with a very bad cold after I interviewed Eric Demia, who's now with the EID program, and Vinny Pacifico. Big shout out to him.
Great.
I gotten sick for over a week and a half. I missed Christmas because I was just bedridden sick, and then after I was done with Christmas, I got laryngitis. So that's how I ended my 2024 heading into 2025. I do not want to do that again. I don't want to be bedridden for over 2 weeks, not knowing what the hell I'm gonna eat, if I'm gonna be able to talk. So I'm very glad that this year is ending off in the way that it should.
Yep.
And I'm very happy to be doing these post shows with you, and just being able to talk about what we all love, which is professional wrestling. And
And
to everybody that tuned in, go on. My apologies.
sorry, I was gonna say
I'm
my
yapping so much.
last thing I'll say is that based on the comment we got earlier, if you are new here to BodySlam, please follow us wherever you can, all social media platforms and on YouTube, because we post videos every single day. I also want to pull this up before we also go. Also, please subscribe to our Patreon. Corey, who you saw in the chat earlier, he breaks the best and most important pro wrestling news, and you can get it at the fingertips of your phone on an email right to you. So please subscribe to our Patreon. It's really going to help everyone here at BodySlam turn this into a full-time job. We'd love that. It would really mean the world to all of us who works at BodySlam. So if you could subscribe to our Patreon, it's very affordable. It would mean a lot to all of us. So if you're new to BodySlam, welcome. We do these shows every week. Rami and I do usually just the WWE post shows. We have a blast, but just unbelievable that nearly 1,500 people watched us talk wrestling. Just means the world to me as someone who just started this year into I love wrestling my whole life, but finally doing it for this. It means a lot to me that this many people watch Rami and I talk. So thanks everyone for such a fun Saturday night.
Exactly. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. We will be back next time, December 13th, for the last time is now John Cena's retirement match. And we will cover every single thing about that show from start to finish, and then give our thoughts about what should happen in the future now that John Cena will be hanging up the jorts and the sneakers. But thank
That's
you
it.
so much to everybody. You can follow me on my socials, who else but Rami, and all of my stuff. And of course, we will be here next time. Thank you so much. This has been another BodySlam.net post show. If you're waking up, hope you have a good morning. If you're having a good day, hope you have a good afternoon. If you're having a good night, hope you have a great one. As we bring to you another one. And of course, thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. We will see you next time.